Hi, everyone, and welcome to Nom Watch Review, part of the Nom Talk network. On this show, we review the latest film drop or a throwback celebrating a milestone while eating and drinking our favorite movie, snacks, and drinks. Don't forget, we have merch. You can find our shop in the About section on Twitch. Subscribers to our Twitch channel get discounts too. You can also just type merch in the chat, and that will pop up a link to that for you. I am your host, Jennifer, and right now I am enjoying some water because I strained my voice in singing lessons tonight. Yay! And I'm snacking on some Toffee Crunch Oreos.
Ooh,
I had intended to go try and find some Razzles, but I didn't feel like going to the dollar store. So, I would love to introduce my guests for tonight. I have with me Amanda, Ren, and Julie. Amanda, what you snacking on tonight? I love your blue hair. It's very fun.
I have some salt and vinegar chips that I love, and then this very, very strong truffle popcorn and some blueberry lemonade infused water.
Is it by a hint? Because that's what my singing instructor was drinking tonight, and it sounded delightful.
No, it's just the little Mio mix-ins.
Oh, nice. Yum. Sounds good either way. Awesome. Thank you so much. Ren, how are you tonight? What are you snacking on and drinking?
I am doing all right. As for drinking, just lots of water. For snacks, I have some cut up strawberries. I have my carrots and cucumbers and some pretzels and cheese. Which I'll probably regret later, but I love cheese.
Sounds delicious.
Don't we all?
Yes. And how about for you, Julie?
In honor of the party foods that she had in the party from the 80s, I got some pizza because I don't know if you remember, but it was on the table when they were stealing the food and leaving. And I hardly ever drink, but I wanted to do she has she's really excited about pina coladas at the boys' party. So I have a Malibu pina colada in a can. We're gonna try a little bit of that.
Nice.
And I did actually find some razzles.
What?
That's
awesome.
I went on a hunt, okay, y'all. Like I called like 3 different stores and nobody had them. And I found them at this local little candy shop in Studio City. And I was so excited because I was like, I have to get razzles.
So. You either have to go to like a specialty candy shop or like Dollar Tree 99-cent store, somewhere like that, where it's really questionable how old they are. So because my partner
I ordered a bulk box of them for my 40th birthday, which was
cool.
Oh my god, over a year ago. But I ordered a bulk box of them because I have an 80s themed birthday.
Oh, fun.
That's so cool.
That's awesome. So before we start talking about tonight's movie, we are still fundraising for the Trevor Project with our goal of $200. So we wanted to remind everybody of that. And now on to the show. Tonight, if you haven't guessed from the clues and Julie and Amanda's amazing 80s outfits tonight, we are talking about 13 Going on 30, an amazing film from 2004, celebrating its 20th anniversary. So we're going to chat about this little gem, which I watched for the first time today. So we'll start off going around talking about how everybody saw it when they saw it for the first time and what their popcorn rating was for it. Again, I saw it for the first time today. I'm kind of filling in hosting for this one, so I had to watch it, and I liked it. I gave it 4 popcorn buckets. I don't like rom-coms very much. I think Shaun of the Dead's probably the greatest romantic comedy ever, and it is. It's a rom-com. And I'm very ambivalent on Jennifer Garner as far as her acting most of the time. I think she makes the same face a lot. And I didn't know who else was in the movie, really. So I was like, meh. I had small kids when it came out. But I was not opposed to it. So I watched it while I was doing some really boring work this afternoon. I love my job, but some of the work's tedious. So I was like, this is good. And it was really cute. I thought it was charming. And I'm glad I watched it. The soundtrack was great. So I had fun with it. So I'm glad I did it. And I'm happy to be here. And I'm going to have fun talking about it tonight because I love anything to do with the 80s. So Julie, how about for you? What's your rating and when did you first see this movie?
So my rating is, I think this is my first for the Nom Talk network. I'm giving it a 5 popcorn bucket rating. Because this has been one of my favorite movies for like since it came out. And when I rewatched it this weekend, I was very happy to find that it did hold up. It did not disappoint me. I felt all of the same feelings that I felt like back in the day when I used to watch it a lot. And it like everything was just still just as magical. So I had to give it my highest rating. For me, this is like I love rom-coms, if you couldn't tell, and for me this is like a perfect movie. So, my first experience with it, I think it was probably when it came out. I don't remember if I saw it in theaters or in like on VHS or whatever. Or maybe DVD. I can't remember if they were out. They had DVDs back in 2004. I don't know. Time is all a blur.
Maybe.
Maybe. Anyway, but I do remember that I watched it with my best friend she's still one of my best friends, Beth, from back home in Michigan, and we like absolutely loved it together. So we had that shared experience, and it's such a quotable movie that we would go and like quote it. Like we used to go on these trips to Chicago and like run down the streets going, "Can you hear that, sir? Can you hear the music?" And that's one of my first memories of that, was just quoting it with her. And so yeah, lots of good memories from that movie.
Awesome. How about for you, Ren? What's your rating and when did you first see this one?
I gave it a 3 and saw it yesterday for the first time.
All right. What did you expect it to be? What it was going to be like?
I honestly had no idea. My brain first went like child labor, maybe. It was like this kid with like the world on his shoulder, maybe have high expectations, carrying a family. I didn't know what to expect. And then I watched the movie. I was like, oh no, it's like a cute little time travel situation. And it was really cute. I enjoyed it a lot. But yeah, solid 3 for me, mostly because love the costuming. The music, like the soundtrack was so good. And I just really like the message in general, where it's kind of like, you don't need to be popular. Like you don't need all these things, like the lavish life. Like sometimes you just need like friends and family and someone who loves you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Agreed.
Amanda, what was your popcorn rating and what was the first time you saw this movie?
I gave it 4 popcorn buckets. I love this movie, and it's definitely like on my list of movies that I rewatch over and over. I saw it while it was still in theaters, but very much towards the end of the run, because I think I like went to a $2 theater and was like, what the hell is this? I'm also kind of ambivalent on Jennifer Garner, but I really, really liked her in this. And yeah, it's just like a super fun rom-com movie that has a lot of nostalgia for those of us that are 80s babies and wanted to grow up really fast.
Yeah. I think I was also 29 going on 30 when this movie came out, so I was like, 30's not all it's cracked up to be, kids. So, you know. Which is very much a theme of the movie, right? Like I think too, you know, being an 80s kid and then watching a lot of classic movies when I was younger, working at Blockbuster and watching just every movie that came across the shelves on VHS. This had like, when I saw the previews, you know, without really getting too deep into it, I was like, it's like Freaky Friday, whatever. You know, we've all seen some similar movie where somebody makes a wish, they make a life change that they're going to regret because they're going to learn a lesson or whatever. And I'm like, I've seen this story, but I hadn't. And I didn't know that I hadn't seen this story because it is a little different. It does have twists on that. So the story starts out with Gina, poor girl. I feel her pain because with the common name like Jennifer, you still get called the wrong name all the time. Ironically, I used to get called Jenna a lot. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And you're at that awkward age of 13 and it's, you know, school pictures and you get the awful picture, you know, it's her 13th birthday, which you always, when you're a little kid, you're like, oh, I can't wait to be 13. And then you get there and you're like, why did I want this? She's got her best friend, Matt. She's getting her school pictures taken. She's getting ready for her 13th birthday. And it's funny because we just, reviewed Mean Girls last week. And when the six come out, I'm like, oh God, it's Mean Girls. Here they are. But it was really, what I loved about this is, because I had seen who the cast was, obviously, at this point. And when I looked at the six girls and the girl who played Jenna, they did such a great job casting young Jenna and young Lucy, because I knew immediately that Lucy was going to grow up to be Judy Greer's character, and the girl that they cast as Jenna grew up perfectly to be Jennifer Garner. They did such a great and thoughtful job casting this, So let's talk a little bit about the cast. I thought the kids were all great. Child actors are sometimes hit or miss. I don't know if any of them ever continued to act, but they were great. And then, of course, the adult actors, they're all very, well known, the main actors. Andy Serkis blew my doors off in this movie. I tell you what, he was fantastic. Amanda, what did you think of the casting of this movie? Because like myself, you said you're ambivalent on Jennifer Garner. What did you think of how they did with this movie and casting the roles?
I love the casting, and I think that, Judy Greer is the quintessential best friend in everything. And I think she, in fact, wrote a book very similarly titled about always being the best friend. The little boy into Mark Ruffalo was actually a really cool change, because physically it was not to be expected the way that the other two were, but it was like a glow up for him, which I loved. And adorable, and was so cute in this movie. I thought the casting was a lot of fun. I think that there was a lot of really good chemistry between the actors, which always kind of helps make a movie better.
Yeah. Julie, how about for you? What did you like as far as the cast in this movie, and what maybe didn't hit for you?
Nothing. I have no notes. The casting was perfect, in my opinion. I mean, that might be a theme for me tonight, but but that is one of the things I think I enjoy the most about this movie is the casting, because I thought it was just so spot on. I mean, for me, I am a fan of Jennifer Garner. I have been since Alias, and for me, I thought I couldn't see anyone else playing this role with being a child inside an adult's body. I thought she did so well with that, because that is a lot of people don't realize that is a hard acting thing to do. Especially if you maybe need to you don't have your childlike energy anymore, and you need to kind of recapture that and remember what that was like, and you're rediscovering everything again for the first time. And I loved watching her do that. I thought it was really fun, and I thought she did an amazing job. I really fully believed that she was a child trapped in that body. And yeah, Mark Ruffalo, this is a movie that made me fall in love with Mark Ruffalo 100%. And I have loved him ever since. Now I love everything that he's in. So, and I agree with what she was saying about the glow up, and and the kids too. Yeah, we're not the only ones to say that was really perfect casting of their younger selves, because it looks like them. You can tell who it's them. And and also, fun fact, did you guys know that Brie Larson was randomly one of the six chicks? I did not even know that until recently. She doesn't really, I think she says one line or something like that. But they actually, Mark Ruffalo and Jennifer Garner were talking about that on their interview, I think, recently. They were like, oh yeah, Brie Larson. They were like, they didn't even remember Brie Larson was in this movie with them. But wow. She's in the credits if you look. And I also really enjoyed Andy Serkis. I had actually forgotten that he was in this movie, and I was like, oh my God, yeah, he's so great in this movie. So yeah, for me,
even the casting of the boyfriend,
oh yeah,
they made
Chris
Grandy,
so
douchey. It was just perfect fit.
Yeah.
At the end when she's in the cab and it's Jim Gaffigan, it was Jim Gaffigan, right? I was howling. That was I think that was my favorite part, as a throwaway scene, was that scene in the taxi when he's like, yeah, I live with my mom and dad. Are you free tonight? Oh, no, run, get out and run. And how about for you, Ren?
I love the casting. I think they did a really great job because like everyone else said it already. It's like when you see the kids, you already automatically knew who's gonna be who as they got out like older. Um, I think, yeah, really, I think what you said about Jennifer Garner's role, basically capturing that childlike essence in an adult body, she did such a good job. And I honestly really love that they had that. It wasn't super important, but I felt like having her become friends with 13-year-olds, despite being a 30-year-old woman, it's like a little like sleepover scenario and making
Mhm.
friends with 13-year-olds. I was like, no, that really captures and kind of like solidifies the fact that yeah, mentally she's still
Mhm.
13. And I love that. She did really, really good job for doing that because I believed it.
Yeah.
And then Mark Ruffalo was just like such a cutie patootie the whole time. I'm like, adorable.
Oh no.
I
Yeah.
love him because I've never really watched a lot of his movies of when he was younger. So I was like seeing that. I was like, oh wow, he's so precious. He kind of gave me Pedro Pascal vibes a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, just like a little bit. I was like, he's so precious. Protect.
Aw. Well, Heartless has joined us in the chat. So everybody say hello to Eric. And he has
Hi,
redeemed
Eric.
Hi.
Quote That Film, which I'm going to throw to Julie because I feel like Julie is our expert on this film, which is a new one. If you're not aware, that is a new
Quote that film.
yes.
Oh yeah, I was not aware. So good. That sounds like
Yeah,
fun.
so it's a new one that people can redeem called Quote That Film, which you have to quote this movie, which is going to be a challenge for me because I don't remember any quotes from the movie. But Julie, I'm sure you already did. You actually told us that you used to run around yelling quotes from the movie.
Yes, I did. Yes. Yeah, one of my favorites is "Can you hear that, sir? Can you hear the music?" Because I just love that she just goes up to random people. She can't figure out that it's their phone ringing. It cracks me up. And then I love also like when she's in the elevator with Becky and she's like, "Oh, it's a great dress. Thanks, because I got these incredible boobs to fill it out." And
Yes.
oh, there's so many, like I could literally quote this whole movie. There's so many good ones. I also love like when her hockey boyfriend is calling her sweet bottom and she's like, ew, gross. And she's like, it's the naked man. Like
I like when she's at his apartment and she thinks they're gonna like literally play board games and he comes out in his tidy whities, or no, he does the little strip tease and she's like, no, I don't want to see that thing again, and she throws the pillow at him.
Yeah. Oh, and then when he says, when he's like, yeah, come on, I can play Battleship. I'll show you my destroyer.
I love the scene before
does not
that
get
when
that.
she's like, should I go to his apartment and play some games?
Yeah.
Like the childhood innocence and the adult.
Yes.
It's so good. Yeah.
I was a little concerned when she walked up to that little boy's table. I was like,
right.
what's happening right now?
Oh no.
Right.
You want to go to jail?
Tom to the rescue.
Right.
Go to jail.
Oh my god.
It was so unfortunate. I was like, oh no, she went to the wrong guy. I mean, the kid was cute, but
to be fair, the adult guy was not attractive.
No, he was
no, he was not. Yeah.
No. And you have to, I mean, we see throughout the film that Lucy never got rid of that little mean girl inside of her, right? She was always the same person. And I think I didn't like, I don't want to say I didn't like the beginning of the movie. The beginning of the movie was very true to my junior high experience. Like a little too true to my junior high experience. So I was really glad that it wasn't very long, to be honest, that it went pretty quickly. My 13th birthday party was a little better than that. It didn't go quite that badly, but man, they whoever wrote that spent an excessive amount of time around 13-year-old children, because girls aren't the only ones who are like that. And that might have been why I avoided the movie too, because 13 wasn't a great year. So, why did we have to relive that? But Nom Talk Network also redeemed Hydrate. So everybody hydrate on what you've got there.
Great.
Water is good. So this she does embody that childlike essence really well, and it is cool that she befriends those 13-year-olds and kind of is able to keep that keep that connection with them, because I think, that was good for the 13-year-olds too. They felt cool, like they had this adult friend, but it helped her kind
Yeah.
of keep perspective too. So
Mhm.
she has this high-powered job. She's a magazine editor at Poise magazine, which was her favorite magazine when she was 13. And of course, we did skip over. She got this way from some magic wishing dust, which I'm sure was a gag gift that Matt thought he gave her for her 13th birthday, and he thought he was just being cute, but it turned out to be real. Sort of like, in Big, when he goes to the Zoltar machine and things like that. It's that magical thing that happens in teenage movies, and her wish came true. And I liked kind of in this movie that it wasn't a body swap, and it was just that all of a sudden here she is, she's 30, and it wasn't that she woke up 30 in her 13-year-old body. It was the other way around, because that would have been, they could have done it so weird in so many ways. They didn't repeat Big, they did it differently.
It really was, though. It very much was kind of like the updated male or female version of Big.
Yeah, I guess he did kind of do it the same. Well, he woke up.
Yeah. He was
I
still
don't
kind
know.
of I think he was still 10 years old in his brain.
Oh yeah.
And yeah. I think it was almost exactly the same.
Was it? Oh,
I think so. Yeah.
I liked this better than Big, so maybe I kind of blocked Big out. Maybe, I don't know.
Big wasn't really a rom-com though. Like, this was a rom-com.
Yeah.
Like, it had the romance undertones. Big was more just like a coming of age kind of thing.
Yeah. Big also had a lot more moments where I was like, ooh, that's a little, he's a kid. He's a kid. Yeah. There was only a couple of those in this one where I was like, she's 13. Like, but they handled it a lot better in this one. So, okay, yeah, you're right. Now that I think about it, yeah. Kind of rough week, guys. I'm okay. But yeah, so she's got this high-powered job, and her best friend is now Lucy, who was Tom, who was her biggest bully, which sometimes can happen. But I don't trust those people that were my bullies when I was 13. I don't know about that.
But I think you also, like, there's that choice, right? When she's in her room, kind of like banging against the little house that Matt made for her, and saying, like, I wish I was 30, like, and they kind of go back to it at the end. Like, there's that moment where she either chooses to ignore Matt and go up the stairs with the 6, or she becomes, and then when she goes back, obviously she takes the other road, knowing,
right,
what had happened. So I think that, like, they may actually have been friends-ish.
Yeah.
Growing up, which you never really see.
Yeah, that's I could see that. That's kind of what I was thinking too, but like somewhere on the border of, like, yeah.
But I think to be friends with her, I think that Jenna had to become a person that she wasn't really in her heart,
absolutely.
So, and then we find out through the course of this, as we learn a little more about Jenna at work, that Jenna was not a good person as an adult, or she did some bad things. Like, she did things that were not maybe who 13-year-old Jenna would have thought she would have been as an adult.
Right.
Because at first I was like, why is her secretary so scared of her? Like, this lady is like a chihuahua nervous level. She's terrified. We find she's an adulteress. She has, this affair with a married guy. I'm like, Jenna, she's terrible.
Gasp.
And then of course, go ahead.
Like, one of the questions I think that I was left with at the end was, when she's back in her room, kind of rocking against the little house again, does she become 13 again with the knowledge that she had of being 30, and she's like, now has this opportunity to live everything over again? Or does she just make the right choice as 13-year-old Jenna and stay with her best friend, who has been her best friend? Like, there's an interesting kind of moment where, like, you don't really know if that knowledge of this is what could potentially happen in my life is there or not.
I hope so. Otherwise, she went downstairs and crashed a wedding and at the altar.
Right.
So I hope she went back to 13 and because they were he came back in the closet while she was still sitting in the closet. So yeah, she went back to 13. And you know what?
No, I know that, but what
Yeah.
I'm saying is,
did she
when
have the
she
knowledge or not? I think.
when she becomes 13 again, does she have like, oh, if I follow Tom
I
Tom,
felt
this
like
is
she
what's gonna
did.
happen in my life?
Yeah,
I felt like
I
she
got that
did.
feeling too.
And you know why? And this is why I think she did. And I don't know why I noticed this, because sometimes I don't notice these things on the first viewing. Her blindfold was the same fabric as the dress she wore to the magazine party.
Yeah.
So that to me was a clue, because it was far too on purpose to me.
Yeah.
You know what? I also just realized that she does in fact say something to the effect of, like, you can be both the pot and the kettle, and whatever.
Yeah.
She runs up the.
Oh yeah, that's
so I
right.
guess,
Yeah. So no, she definitely remembers.
That's okay. She does say that. Yeah. For me, I was just like, oh, that's the same dress. That's like the fabric from her dress. So yeah. Because I was like, wait, why did she go crash that wedding? What happened? Like, why did they just get married? They just went up the stairs 13 years old. So I'm glad they spared us like a montage of their life, at least. That would have probably killed the movie. We didn't need to see that.
We already saw what it was, and then we knew what it could have been, and then we just were like, okay, this is what we're going with.
No, and I thought that was a really sweet way to end it, because she had everything she thought she wanted. I don't think that was what she wanted. So, but no, the music in this movie was just a lot of fun, and it really gave it such a fun atmosphere. Just from starting with I think it started with the Bangles.
The Go-Go's.
The Go-Go's, that's right.
Head over heels, yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, I'm here. All right. Entertain me. Entertain me.
I was talking to my mom about this earlier, and I think, like, as an adult, like 20 years ago, I saw this 20 years ago, and I've watched it several times through, but like now I'm 40, and watching it now is so poignant. Just telling my mom, like, damn, do I wish I could go back to 13 and not deal with my shitty landlord and be paying rent and, paying bills and having a job. And 13 would be nice to go back to with the knowledge that I have.
Would you want to go back to 13, Ren?
No.
Not even with the knowledge that you currently have.
With the knowledge you currently have.
No. I know too much. It gives me depression. I'd rather be
just fair.
I'm good. I didn't like being 13, but I'm okay right now.
How about you, Julie?
That's a good question. I feel like yeah. So I like you had a pretty crappy time when I was 13. Like, middle school was not great for me. But yeah, having the knowledge I have now, I think I might be able to navigate it a little more. Like, I would definitely have the knowledge of, like, I need to not care what people think of me so much. Like, I can be my own little, like, weirdo or whatever, and it's fine, because, like, eventually I'm gonna grow up and find my fellow weirdos and things like that, like, and so, like, I think if I did have all the knowledge I have now, I might be willing to do it just because of that, because I think that would make it maybe better for me. But generally speaking, like, 13 is a rough age for everybody. I feel like, like, if I could choose an age, I'd maybe choose like 18, because I had but no, having the knowledge, I think that might have made it better for me. So yeah, maybe I would.
They say that you, like, change one thing in history and you change everything.
Right.
And so, like, that aspect of it kind of scares me, but I think that, like you said, knowing that you would find your little band of weirdos, knowing where you found some of them. Like, my best friend, we've been friends for 20 years, and, like, I know where I met him, and if I went back, I would be like, okay, I need to go back to this place and meet this person. But yeah, I think with the knowledge that I have, that life would have been a little bit easier to navigate, and I probably would have made some different choices.
It's interesting. I was having a very similar conversation regarding high school in a group on Facebook today. So I said, there are no regrets, but there is a certain choice where maybe I would have made a different decision about something, and it would have changed the trajectory of my life considerably. but you let yourself get bullied out of decisions, not just by your peers, but by other people in your life. And so, it's just, it's
And by
interesting how
yourself.
that, so yeah, and absolutely by yourself, but sometimes by yourself is by other people's voices in your head too. So,
True.
but yeah, it's always interesting to think about, man, if I could go back like she did, maybe not with like wishing powder, and that house was really cool. I want someone to like me so much that they make me a house,
Right?
an adorable little dream house.
You
Right?
worked on that for like 3 weeks.
I know.
With
Like, oh my God,
a
like
little
what kind of
bathtub.
friend? Like, that's a good friend right there. Like, that's
Yeah.
amazing.
Because he loved her.
Also,
Protect.
Well, yeah,
Also-
of course.
Protect.
that glow up, like, let's be honest, he got hot.
He did.
Yeah.
He did.
Absolutely.
That was Mark Ruffalo's like best phase of life right there. Because like when you see him when he's younger, you're like, oh, you're a cute little dork. But that age of his in like the early 2000s, that was like Mark Ruffalo's like best phase. I was like, why didn't I watch this movie way sooner? So
I mean, he's
He is
still hot.
cute.
Also,
He
speaking of
is.
the house, did you guys notice that, like, at the end, like, the house
It
is
was
basically the dream house? Yeah, it's
Yeah.
basically the same house. Like, there's some little details that kind of give clues that it was like she got her dream house in the end.
yeah, no, they did a really
That
good
little
job, like
detail.
with the full circle in this movie,
Yeah.
bringing
only
everything.
issue- The only issue I did take with the movie, and the reason I didn't give it 5 stars, is how quickly he seemed to kind of gloss over the fact that she had basically just told him to fuck off and not been his friend all of a sudden after, they'd been friends for 13 years.
Yeah.
And he kind of just became her best friend again without so much as like hey, you've been kind of a shitty person. Like, let's discuss this. And that was a little unrealistic for me, but that's the only issue I really take with the movie.
Yeah. And I also feel like they, well, they dropped really quickly in at the end, like the whole thing about the magazine. I know the magazine was sort of a minor thing, but they just really quickly slid in at the end. Oh, by the way, you were the one tanking the whole magazine.
Right. Yeah.
I was like, wait, what? She what?
Yep.
Well, but there was little, I don't know if you guys noticed, there was little hints about that drop.
Mhm.
Like,
No, I
when she
missed.
first goes through her mail, there's a couple of letters from Sparkle and things
Oh,
like that.
no.
So there's like definitely, yeah. If you didn't notice that, yeah, there's little hints that were kind of dropped that she's been doing this the whole time, so that when they have the big reveal, it was kind of
You
like
see them in her drawer a couple
Oh.
of times.
Oh, see, I wasn't like clued in that. I wasn't like focused in that close on the details yet. First viewing, I was still taking it all in big picture.
Yeah,
so.
no, of course.
Okay,
I don't even know
okay.
if I don't even know if I did until like after the first time I watched it, and then I finally figured that out. So yeah.
One of the messages that the secretary reads to her at one point, I think, is from Trish Sackett
Yeah.
at Sparkle.
Oh,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I
interesting.
did, I believe, yeah.
Interesting.
Just little details, they sprinkled in there.
Yeah,
You'll notice something new with every watch too, which is kind of a fun little, like,
Yes, that's true too. Mm-hmm.
I
even
almost
now,
felt like
yeah.
it could have been a little longer because I was surprised when I looked at the running time because I had to wedge it in today. I had a really busy weekend, so I was like, must watch today. And I was like, an hour 38. Okay, I can easily squeeze this in today. And when it ended, I was like, oh, come on. Oh,
But I think it is
Yeah.
kind of, for kids too. Like it is for like the preteen group.
Yeah.
And running time, a 13-year-old's not going to sit for 4 hours and watch a movie.
no, they will sit for 4 hours with their nose on a phone, but
Right.
not watch a movie. So
Maybe they'll be watching the movie on their phone.
yes, yeah. It was cute to see 13-year-olds. I mean, in 2004, cell phones were a thing. Right? Yeah, we had them.
Yeah.
I mean, you could really only play Snake on them, but
But
they were
They
a
were a little
thing.
bit more advanced than that.
they were
Yeah.
the flip, just the basic flip phones, like the Motorola Razors, I think.
You
Yeah.
had the sidekicks were out.
Oh,
2004?
Gotcha, yeah.
Oh my
I
god.
think she had like a little basic flip phone in the movie, but
Yeah,
but yeah, you're
sidekicks
right.
were
They did
out
have a
newer.
couple little,
Because that was the year before I got divorced. I'm trying to remember. We had Nokias back then.
Yeah, I had a Nokia.
I got
With
my
the-
first
yeah.
cell
You had a
phone.
Nokia.
I
I
got
had
my
a
first cell phone
Nokia
in
that I had to
college.
share with my family when the first cell phones first came out.
Oh, man.
Because that ringtone took me back. When her phone rang, I was like, what do
Yeah.
you mean you don't know what that music is? Oh, yeah, you
Right.
don't. But we do. We all had flashbacks right then. I was like, so.
My first cell phone was like 2001. My first year of college was when I got my first phone.
Yeah.
And then I racked up a $500 bill, like talking to my friends, which my mom was not thrilled about. And my phone got taken away pretty quickly. But we all had the everybody in like when I was in college, everybody had a Nextel, so we always did do the chirp.
Oh,
That was fun. We had that for a while.
You could chirp people.
My friend and I thought we were sly because my friend lived in England, and we were like, oh, talking would be expensive. Texting will be fine. It's 25 cents a text, just FYI. Back then. Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
Right.
We weren't that sly. It's fine. It's fine. My ex-husband wasn't too mad. Yeah, this was a really cute movie. I was glad I watched it. I was sad I slept on it. The pacing, even though it was, I don't think they missed anything. I think they hit the story exactly how it needed to be. And when I said it could have been longer, even though I felt like it could have been longer, I don't know what they could have done. So it just felt, a few things felt a little rushed story-wise, but not pacing-wise. I don't know how better to explain that. I think just some things felt dropped in. I think for me, it was more like, I just wanted more of Andy Serkis.
No.
I just loved his character.
Yeah,
He was so
he's
funny.
right.
So funny.
Spin off on the gay magazine editor.
Yeah. When he was asking her about Matt and whether he was gay or not, and she was like, "Are you gay?" And he just starts
that was
laughing.
great.
He just laughs. Yeah, that's so funny.
But yeah, she, and I think it took me a while to clue in that she wasn't a good person as an adult, because I maybe I just wasn't paying attention, but like she didn't know who her own, with the hockey player, he didn't seem too bothered by the fact that she didn't know who he was. Maybe he took one too many pucks to the head. I don't know. He was kind of cute though, a little dumb but cute. And Wendy, the fiance, I didn't like her for Matt. I'll be honest. I didn't like her.
I didn't like her either.
I mean, we weren't supposed to.
Point, though. I think that
Yeah.
that was we weren't supposed to like her. We were supposed to want him and Jenna together,
But
Yeah.
I was like, I think it would have been like, I was like, make me like her, make me not want this to happen, because then it's more, again, I don't like rom-coms. Rom-coms are supposed to be easy. I like the conflict. So I was like, no, I don't want her to win. Damn it.
Did anyone else have the I don't know, when I was in like middle school, when it would rain and we couldn't go out for recess, they used to like move all the tables and chairs in the cafeteria, and we would like sing and dance to some stupid musical. And most of the time it was Grease, but there were a couple of times that we did Thriller.
Oh my gosh.
And so like
love
when that scene, which is like,
That's awesome.
hey, it's Thriller, I like was just all of a sudden back in middle school in my cafeteria, like dancing to Thriller with 400 other kids, and none of us really knew the moves like entirely.
That's so fun.
Mm-hmm.
I
love that
so
part
cute.
too. That's one of my favorite scenes, I think, where she's like, Maddie, Thriller. Like,
Thriller.
and she shimmies all the way over to him.
that scene was
She does.
that scene to me is like, why does no one believe she's really a 13-year-old trapped in that body? Because that scene would have been when I was like, oh, she totally is. Okay.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
But
that
nobody
and when
else knew.
she said it to a couple people, she tried to tell a couple of people, I'm 13. I feel like
Yeah,
she
but
did.
If somebody
Yeah.
came up and was like, by the way, I'm really 13, you're gonna be like, okay, what?
I don't know. Nowadays, I don't discount
Well, but-
anything anymore. But yeah,
No, but honestly, like you would
Yeah.
be like, okay, what's wrong with you? Like, are you hungover? What's happening? Like, and so I think for everybody else, she was just
Snapped.
Jenna who had
she had
grown up.
lost
Yeah,
her mind.
lost her
Yeah.
mind.
I also liked when she was ordering the pina colada, non-virgin, like
Right.
like they were gonna by default bring her the virgin one.
Right.
Yeah. which was
I
just
did. I did love the sleepover scene when they were like
yes,
singing "Love Is a Battlefield" and
yes,
talking
So
about
cute.
boys.
yeah,
That's
that
not something
Pat
I actually got
Benatar,
growing
it's
up.
one of my
Yeah.
favorites.
yeah, that scene is super cute. Um, because I feel like she didn't get that kind of slumber party when she was 13. She didn't
Right,
have, I mean, Maddie
Yeah.
was her best friend, which was great, but I'm pretty sure they weren't having slumber parties. So,
right,
um,
right.
yeah. And I did like how this movie, even though I didn't see it before, I could tell that, it, like Julie said, it held up. There was nothing in it where I was like, ooh, but
Except for
Yeah,
that one scene where she tries to pick up the 13-year-old.
well, yeah. But even that, she was like, "Can I have the ketchup? You're cute." And I mean,
Yeah.
it was innocent
Can you
enough.
drive?
right. That's what I
Yeah.
feel like it was pretty innocent. Like, and I feel like it makes sense given the circumstance. Like, she wasn't
Yeah.
gonna go for the older, uglier guy,
Yeah.
because her brain is still 13. But
I
yeah,
questioned Lucy's taste at that point. I was like,
right.
it's almost like she was purposely trying to get her to go for an ugly guy. That's what it felt like. That's why I was like,
It
Lucy's still being a
did feel
mean
like
girl.
that.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Julie, I want one of those razzles so bad right now.
I know. Because it's
Honestly,
candy
I
and
haven't
it's
had one in a
gum.
And a
while,
gum.
and they're pretty good. I was like, oh yeah, like I forgot what these were like. They're fun.
I think I have a slap bracelet in the other room from my 80s party.
It was both a candy and a gum.
Yeah.
I
I
love
have
that.
I
What
have a
color is your
slap
tongue?
bracelet from our event the other day.
What color is your
Yeah.
tongue, Julie?
Let's
I
see.
know. I'm like, wait, hold on.
I'm like, is it razzle red?
Not really, huh?
Not yet. Not yet. You needed a couple
Not
more
yet. We
pieces.
have to eat more of them. Yeah.
Like, Maddie, I need to see your tongue.
Hey,
So
your tongue.
funny.
Come on. I showed you mine. You showed me yours. I showed you mine.
I love that the focus of food and drink in this movie is pretty much like alcohol and candy.
Mhm.
She's either drinking or hey, come back. There we go. She's either drinking or they're talking about the razzles, which was it was just cute. I love that. Yeah, I really wanted to go out and get some, but I really didn't want to do a half-hour round trip to get candy because I live in the boondocks. So um, it just was not in the cards. I just thought that
That's
was
fair.
yeah, it was sweet, and I think I liked it because she and Maddie, their little relationship was so pure and cute, and I think that was just a example of it. It was obvious they had like little puppy love, and the dollhouse,
Yeah.
the dream house thing just made that one. That made me. I was like, oh, because that's such a thoughtful gift, right? Like,
Mhm.
and the whole thing about when the six want to come to, we can't come to your party because we have to work on this project. I'll write your paper for you. I was like,
Right.
okay, I'm gonna get you a doormat for your 13th birthday because you
Right.
are one. My God. Good Lord.
That's so good.
But
Yeah.
but I feel
Yeah.
like that is a little bit relatable though, because you know how I was saying I had a bad time in middle school, but like
Yeah.
it was because I was a lot like her in that I tried to fit in with popular girls who had wanted nothing to do with me and like just kind of tolerated me being there, but they never really invited me to anything and stuff like that,
Yeah.
like so I feel like it was very relatable and I was like, yeah, but like you said, maybe it's a little too close to home.
I love
I
that they
only
hold
had
the like guy over her too. They're like, well, Chris Grandy's coming to the party too. And then
Right.
they coerce her into the closet to like play 7 Minutes in Heaven.
yeah. There were only 14 people in my junior high class, 7 girls, 7 boys.
Oh, wow.
So there was nowhere to hide. There were no
Oh,
alternatives. There were no other friend groups. It was the 14 of us.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah,
that's dense.
I
I
Oh,
thought mine
still,
was small at 80. Mine was like 80, and most people are
yeah,
like, that's really small. But yeah, that's not, wow.
I'm
yeah,
still in
that's
contact
small.
with 2 of them, 2 of the girls who have matured. We'll go with that.
Yeah, that's
Well, they've
good.
matured, yeah.
Well, that's good.
One I
Maturing
have a
is
lot
good.
more in common with than the other, but it happens. So the other ones just nobody's in touch with them. Like we don't even know where they are, which is
Mm.
I don't
fine.
talk to anybody from middle school. Like I went
Yeah.
to an all girls boarding school for high school. So I still talk to a few of them just, to catch up on like what's going on in life, but I'm not like friends with any of them by any means.
Yeah. Hi,
I
friend.
don't think I'm still friends with anybody from middle school or high school. Like maybe my one friend Beth that I mentioned, and then like she was like a grade younger than me, and then
Oh.
like a few others maybe, but yeah, it's very very small selection of people.
I was super awkward and I didn't really have a lot of friends at that age.
Yeah, I have more friends still from high school than I do from junior high, obviously, because there was actually like people in my high school as opposed to 14 people. I was a very small Christian junior. I don't know. My mom moved me from different school to different school
I know
for
how
what
it is.
I don't know why. It's like just put me. She didn't want to put me in public school in San Bernardino for some reason. San Bernardino, what? Public schools are fine. So, but then finally for high school, she kind of had to. So, um, yeah, it was interesting moving around all these different schools. But yeah, the kids, I mean, kids are kids everywhere, right? They're the same, and it's worse when there's less of them. You don't have any choices.
Right.
So, but we had a swing set, so we had that going for us, and because it was a K through 8 school, so I could always hang out with the kindergartners.
Did you try to swing over?
Oh, we absolutely did. Somebody got hurt though, so we had to, not swinging over, but they got hurt doing like the flip off the swings.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah, they landed
Oh
on a
no.
younger grade kid. It was a whole thing.
Oh no.
Oh yeah. Oh, it was good times. Yeah, adventures at Mountain View Christian School, which burned down in a fire,
no.
and I think that was the wrath. That was the wrath.
No, no.
The wrath of San Bernardino coming down on that school.
Oh my god.
Well, San
Oh,
Bernardino gets a
man.
lot of fires.
Makes
I
sense.
just assumed it was payback for all the junior high antics that happened there. But yeah, so this movie, I'm glad I watched it. I'm glad that circumstances put it in my path. It was a lot of fun. It's cute without being cutesy and like annoying. I think that moms could have taken their kids to see it and enjoyed it and not been sitting there the whole time going, oh,
Yeah.
because it is relatable across both spectrums. And
Mhm.
just the cast. I love Judy Greer. Who doesn't love Judy Greer? Don't bite me, cat.
Right? She's great.
Yeah, she's great. I love the lady that played her, the assistant. Was it Lorraine Leslie? What was her?
Oh,
I
she
can't
was
remember.
great. I loved her.
Yeah,
She's
yeah,
in a lot of stuff, and I can't remember the actress's name, but yeah, she's great, and she's in like I recognize her from a lot of other things. I just can't place her right
yeah,
now. But
and I recognized a couple of the other coworkers. Same thing though. I'm like, oh, it's that one person that was in what is it? It'll come to me kind of thing, like
Yeah.
yeah,
the coworker with the short bob. She had like the dark hair. I'm like, ooh, it's and then the bald guy. Both of them. I'm like, I've seen them in something recently.
yeah.
But yeah, it was just a fun movie. And when she's like, he's in the village. What village? The Greenwich
Right.
Village.
Greenwich Village, yeah.
She's just so naive about everything, and it was
Everything.
yeah, cute, just
To
everything.
be fair, if you're not a New Yorker or you didn't grow up in New York, you may also not realize that.
I mean, I've never ever been to New York, but I've read books. Like, I feel like Greenwich Village, that people should know. I don't know. I guess it depends on where you're from, because it seemed like they were from maybe Connecticut, like just up.
New Jersey. No,
Oh,
they're
New
from
Jersey. Oh, she
Mhm.
should know.
But I'll tell you
Well,
honestly,
she was
like
13 though.
yeah.
Like I didn't
Okay,
know where
that's
everything
fair.
was when I was 13.
Like I grew up in New York. I grew up in the Bronx and I went to high school in Long Island. And like the girls that I went to high school with, most of them are still on Long Island. Like it's very much a kind of
Really?
place where like, oh yeah, you don't leave Long
You
Island.
get trapped.
And like even though it's 40 minutes on the train into the city, like yeah, you're in Long Island. So it was like
Oh,
I think feel like if I had been like, oh, it's we're going to the village, they'd have been like,
right.
Santa's
State
Village?
Village?
Santa's Village?
State
What?
Village?
That's
The
fair.
village
That's
from M.
fair.
Night Shyamalan's movie? No.
I don't think we
it's
want to
like
go there.
It's like a
No,
suburbs
no.
mentality kind of thing.
I gotcha. Okay, that makes sense. I mean, I started reading like Stephen King and stuff at a really young age, and all sorts of like grown-up books and whatnot.
Yeah.
So like at 12, 11. So my exposure to things is a different level. And I tend to forget that sometimes, even though I've never left this region of California. So that's not never left it, but like never lived anywhere else. So I have left California periodically now and then. Yeah, so no, this is great. I think we had a really good conversation. Again, I'm glad I got to see this movie. I'm glad I got to talk to a super fan about this movie. Julie, I'm excited. You gave your first 5 popcorn bucket rating tonight. That's so happy. That's exciting. I'm over generous with my popcorn ratings sometimes. I feel, and it's because I feel bad giving anything like I'm like, oh no, that's too low. You're being too. But then there's Madam Web where I'm like, nope. Half.
Half a star.
That's me with Groundhog Day. Really? Unpopular opinion, 0 stars. Like, I hate that movie with a passion.
Oh.
Oh, really? I don't hate it. I don't seek it out. I just don't
hate it.
Really? I mean, that's fair. It's not, I mean, I have this conversation with people a lot because when someone says they hate a movie and then someone immediately tries to like convince them not to hate it, that's dumb. Like people are allowed to not like things and it's okay. You know, so you just have to go into stuff with an open mind and no expectations and you might be pleasantly surprised. That's how I view every movie. So
I'm just not a Bill Murray fan.
And that's okay.
I think people just naturally want people to like the same things that they do, but that's just not like that's not probable. Like that's not you know.
And then also I think if someone doesn't like something you really like, you start to take it kind of personally, like what's wrong with me, like, but it's not that at all. I'm kind of dealing with that with like X-Men 97. Like some of my friends are really into X-Men and I like X-Men okay, and they're like, oh my gosh, this episode was like Endgame level of sad, and then I watched it and I was like, was it? Oh. I'm just not attached to the X-Men the way they are. I like it okay. It's just not my bag of candy or tea or whatever, however you say it. That's not the phrase at all.
I like that. It's not my bag of candy.
Cup of tea. That was really
what cup of tea. That's it. It's not my bag of candy. Cup of tea.
I like that better.
I do too.
Yeah, honestly, that works too. I think we should start a new phrase.
Yes, that's our new Nom Talk phrase. It's not my bag of candy.
Not my bag of candy. I like it.
So final thoughts, Ren, what are your final thoughts now that you've seen it for the first time like I did? What were your final thoughts on 13 going on 30?
I thought it was super cute. I'd probably watch it again. It did bring me back to like being 13 and be like, you know what? I wouldn't repeat being 13, but it does make me realize what is important in life. It makes me appreciate a lot of like my friends and family, realizing that, you know, I don't have to give up who I am to be successful in life, and realize like what success defines for me does not have to be like what everyone else's definition of success is. And so it was like a nice reminder. It was very cute. I liked it a lot.
Awesome. And Julie, how was it revisiting one of your top 5 favorites?
It was really fun. You know, like I just don't watch like movies a lot of times in a row. Sometimes like it depends, like if I'm in the mood maybe, but like, you know, I don't know. I don't always like, I think when it came out, I watched it a lot, but then, you know, but you can still remember it fondly. So I am just so glad, like I had said before, that to me, it completely held up. And I still had a lot of the same like little moments and reactions to things, like still gave me all the feels. Like I had some moments where it made me tear up at the end. And I was just like, oh, I'm so happy. Like it's still giving me all these emotions, you know, like after all this time. So it was very fun to go back and rewatch it because it had been a little while. But I will talk it up to anybody who will listen, though, if they haven't seen it. I'm like, you just go watch it. Like, well, if, you know, of course, again, if that's their style, if I think it would be their style. Yeah. So.
It's their bag of candy. Yes.
If it's their bag of candy, exactly. Wait, hold on. Is my tongue razzle red yet?
Oh,
I don't know.
No.
Not really. I've been treating it for a while now. I don't know. I don't know what the secret is. Maybe they used to make them more pigmented back then. I don't know.
Maybe. It's red number 5 that's probably banned now.
True.
Actually, it does have red 40 in it and yellow 5. But
I don't know the numbers exactly, but
I don't
yeah. No, but it's probably like all natural something now instead, you know. Amanda, your final thoughts on the movie?
Like Julie, I love this movie, and like Ren said, it's a really kind of good reminder that like the grass isn't always greener, and not to grow up too fast. And again, even though I'm 40, about to be 41, like I still have years ahead, and to not rush into like
Right.
those years. We're
Yeah.
all like, I also think that like developmentally, like we're in a completely different place than like
Yeah.
somebody who was turning 30 in 2004. I was
Right.
in my
So different,
early
yeah.
20s.
Oh, yeah.
So
Mhm.
different. So yeah, success is not necessarily defined the same way for everybody else, and the grass is not always greener on the 30
Yep.
side.
Hmm.
No.
But cute
No.
movie, and definitely one of my like safe space movies. I multitask a lot, so sometimes I don't want to watch something new, and I will just put on like a rotating, group of movies that I've seen a dozen times, and I don't have to watch them. I can just listen, and I know what's going on. And it's definitely one of those movies for me that I rewatch
That's
pretty
cute.
frequently.
Yep. Yeah, I'm glad I watched it. I'm sad it is leaving Netflix tomorrow.
Oh,
So
yeah,
tomorrow's
that's
the
right.
last day it'll be on Netflix. And I was
It'll be
like,
back.
whew, well, it's probably gonna move to another streamer. It's usually like the contract ends and it moves somewhere else. So
That's true.
hopefully
Yeah.
Paramount Plus or Peacock, somebody will have it and I'll just watch it there. Because
Or
I do plan to
Amazon.
watch it again. Oh yeah. Because I'll find like
Amazon.
I think there's a lot of things like you said with the letters and whatnot that I'm gonna go look for. There's Charlie's Tale. It's just not a stream if Charlie's Tale doesn't appear. Oh, and he knocks everything over. All right, thanks, buddy. But
I
yeah,
think
so
I
it's
still have the DVD actually somewhere, but I don't have a DVD player anymore, and my laptop
oh,
doesn't have a DVD slot because the new ones don't have. So
that's true. They don't have
I
those
know,
drives
right?
anymore. I know. We still have a Blu-ray player and we have an Xbox that has the drive. So
oh, nice.
yeah, we still have ways to watch the old technology. But old technology? I don't know.
Oh my God.
I know. I'm like, but it was interesting. I'm waiting for the sequel, 30 going on 13. No, I'm just kidding.
Right.
Don't
30 going
no,
on
no.
60.
Oh, I'm going on 50. I'd
Oh.
probably enjoy that. But yeah, just a fun little movie. And I'm glad I watched it. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed talking about it and getting perspectives from longtime fans and from another first time watcher. So, I enjoyed our conversation tonight. Amanda, tell everybody where they can find you.
I am on all the socials at Roland Yollin.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yollin.
Roland Yollin.
That's
I like
cute.
a rhyme. Yeah, it's easy to
Yeah,
remember too.
that's
Excellent.
fun.
Ren, how about you?
I'm on all social media platforms as Corpus Ren, CORPUSREN.
Awesome. Julie.
I am on the Instagram at Julie Raelyn, JRAELYN. I'm on the TikTok occasionally at JRaelady, JRAELADY. And I guess the same Instagram handle for Threads. I've just barely started to tap into that, but I don't really know what I'm doing on there. So
That's okay. Me neither.
Yes. I have notifications on Threads. I forgot I even had it, so I understand.
Right.
And you can find me on Instagram. Yeah, Instagram. do_as_Peggy says. And my cosplay adventures with myself and Mike Manalo, who's a host on here, can be found at California Avengers. And my ever-growing collection of movie reviews of new movies, old movies, whatever they happen to be showing at AMC this week, is over on Letterboxd, and my handle over there is just Peggy Says. Excuse me. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. And again, thank you, Amanda, Ren, and Julie. Be sure to join our Discord to keep the conversation going, as well as subscribing to all our platforms at Nom Talk Network across all the platforms. Be sure to tune into our next show on Wednesday, where we're going to be discussing Boy Kills World, which looks very interesting and too violent for little Jen here. Until then, I am your host, Jennifer, and I hope everybody has a nomorific day. Thank you.